All right, I wanted to check in on you with where I'm at in my reading. A couple things going on. Obviously, I'm reading through the tales of Boca Lane and Corporal Broach, and I will have a crackpot trail video for you guys. I'm just setting up a couple things, and if that doesn't quite work, then I'm going to go ahead with maybe something else. But that's a super vague way to put it, but I wanted to do justice to this one because it was just a special one. So, also reading through Dune because I wanted to watch the movies, and it's just been years and years and years since I've even touched Dune. So, have this pretty. I don't usually get special edition copies, but this one was just, I've seen it going around, and it's just such a pretty one. So, I've had that for a while, and I've been waiting to do that since the first movie came out. I haven't anyway. Getting to Memories of Ice. This really, in a lot of ways, is my very favorite book, maybe ever. I know I say Toll the Hounds is my favorite Malazan book, and that probably is true in some ways. There's going to be, let's see, non-spoiler for this first part, but as soon as I start getting into the book, it's going to be spoilers for the series, okay? Uh, Toll the Hounds impacted me most emotionally, and something that is so amazing from Crackpot Trail is there's a theme about just one little thing that is said that I want to highlight is that really what artists are trying to get across is that people feel the way that they feel. And as someone who's trying to write their own thing, I feel a certain way about my stories that mean something to me. And what I want to do is I want to transfer that and make other people feel the same way about it. And so Toll the Hounds was the one where I really feel like I got the feeling that I think he was trying to get across the most. Now, Memories of Ice is just such a good book in every other respect. If Gardens of the Moon felt a little bit disjointed and cold, Memories of Ice doesn't. If Gates felt a little bit plodding and just filled with despair and stuff, man, Memories of Ice just flies. And looking through my notes, I can just see it's just so funny. Like I'm done sub book one, and I've been reading through this one that I have all marked up, and especially looking at the dramatis personae and some things, I put some questions in the margins. We know Picker has some torques, and so I marked who had the torques, and then anyway, like it's just funny. I would in the prologue, I would circle Dragniper and go, is this Animander Rake's sword? And then later on, it was like I confirmed that with like a check mark. It's been really fun, and it just brings me back to how I viewed it the first time, and just how much laughing and lying I'm doing at myself. I'm sure if I went back to my early videos, I'm surprised people even watched some of those. How far off I was. I would take, and they would be patient in these live streams. And I would sometimes start off on the right foot, and then 2 steps into it, I would like veer into just being totally wrong. Sometimes I would be 99 steps correct, and then I would falter on the last step. But I can see why people like viewing people in kind of encounter the process of reading these books, even though I haven't really done that myself and seeing that, but I might in the future a little bit. Anyway, this first sub book, and I do want to talk about. Actually, before doing that, if you're still with me and you haven't read the books, freaking just get to Memories of Ice. I promise if you get to Memories of Ice, I mean, I can't promise this, but I'm very sure. Get to Memories of Ice, get through sub book 1, 200 pages. I think you'll be hooked on the story certainly at this point. And I think this is where a lot of people know that they are in for a crazy ride if they don't know that already by reading Dead House Gates. Now, here are my thoughts. When I go back, and there's going to be spoilers of maybe the book first, and then I'll get into whole series spoilers because I don't want to ramble too much. Memories of Ice. What I get out of it as a theme in this book, and all these books have different themes, and what I remember mostly of this is where I started to first get the feeling that there are prejudices that really are driving people's opinions, or driving people's actions. And it's right in the name, Memories of Ice. And you can see that in a number of these people. And sometimes they don't have all the information. It's still kind of buried deep down, or it's trapped literally in ice, as we kind of find in like a literal and metaphorical sort of way at times. And I just love it. Even though this one doesn't impact me emotionally quite like Toll the Hounds and some of the later books in the series. Man, this one it's hard to say that this wouldn't be maybe my favorite book in the series. It's sure a contender. Every single scene, in my opinion, is not wasted, and I can't say that for all the other books. But this one, it's like it's so lodged in my brain where there hasn't been a scene yet in Subbook 1 where I haven't gone, here's this one, or here's this one. And it's just so visual and fantastic. And I can't wait to get to Subbook 2 and especially Subbook 3, which has a few of my very favorite. Subbook 3 might be my favorite subbook of the entire series. And that's saying something, considering how much I love the last subbook of Toll the Hounds and a number of these other ones. But I think Capistan, just everything about it is my favorite. And there's anyway, spoilers for the book. The Siege of Capistan is, I've said it before, I love Egatan and I love these other sieges and things. Capistan is my favorite. I think it just has all the metaphor and just the imagery of these crazy Teniscowry coming over the walls and just lining the buildings, or lining the streets with bodies and filling the buildings, and Gruntel's change that he has because of Stawny. I just can't wait to see that, and my heart just goes out for her. We have Harlow. Let me go through the Dramatis Personae really quick at who we have. This was called The Spark and the Ashes. This one. And I love Jenna Bacchus. So we have Gruntel, who, again, this is series spoilers. Gruntel, I think everybody loves at the start, and then maybe starts to wane a little bit because he just kind of gets stuck with this Trigal trade guild and don't really know. It's not as exciting, in my opinion. That was the sore part in Toll the Hounds for me, even though I still love the character. And I just love his transformation. And it's just heartbreaking. Stawny Manakis is a character that it just kind of seems like this. Sometimes female characters can be written very, very princessy and very sweet and very damsel-y. And then on the other hand, they can be very hard and tough and no nonsense, and Stawny kind of represents that. But man, Stawny is such a special character in my heart by the end of the series, and like I could tear up talking about her. And she has one of the most, she is such a special character to me. We have Harlow, the Caravan Guard, and if you've read the series, we know the name Harlow. Um, Buke, another one where I'm going to have my eye on him because it's kind of funny, his little journey in this book. Bokalane and Corbel Brooch, I just love more than ever. In these, I've learned so much more about their character. I feel by reading the tales of tales of Bokalane and Corbel Brooch, which I think people should read. It is canon technically, I think, even though it's just over the top and ridiculous. I used to see Bokalane. I mean, I kind of see Bokalane the same as I saw him in the wine scene in Capistan with Quick Ben, which is one of my very favorite scenes in the whole series. It's way up there in like my top 10 scenes. But I changed my mind with Corbel Brooch, where I thought he was just this kind of ultra evil necromancer summoner, but I see him more as like this child who doesn't know any better, and they're both kind of researchers, and I just love their characters. And I think as I'm reading Memories of Ice, Emancipor Reese doesn't pop quite as he does in the tales that you get. So that's a big reason why I think people should read those tales and even read a couple of them. And you get a little bit more of the type of everyman character, sort of in the way that we view Torvald. Just he's just so funny, such a great character in the series. And two of the stories come before, I believe, Memories of Ice, and then the rest after. And I've actually really, really, really liked them. We have Karuli, aka Krull. Marble. We have all these people in Capistan who I haven't gotten back to. Really looking forward to Brukalion and Itkovian especially. But we'll talk about them later, and all these different priests of the Mask Council. Dujek One Arm I like more and more. Whiskey Jack I obviously love, and is subbook 3 where a lot of the best Whiskey Jack stuff happens. That might be in the last subbook, but I can't recall. Man, so great. Artanthos, obviously we know some extra things about him. Tayshrin is someone that I'm it's been fun on the reread to keep my eye on that boy. And there's some better hints as we go, and obviously we get some better insight at the end of Deadhouse about that guy. Ganos Perrin, obviously, just always loved that guy, even though I was kind of ultra fixated on him first time through the series. I'm going to let that go a little bit and focus on some of these other guys like Antsy and Picker, and I have next to Picker Armtorks. Torin and Spindle's the character I would make in like a video game. Like if I was making an RPG, whatever, if I was playing Malazan, whatever RPG, I would choose Spindle because he is this sapper mage with his mom's hair shirt. Blend is someone I really like. Mallet and Hedge and Trots, and see, these guys I know so much more than our people from the Bone Hunters, and I'm so looking forward to House of Chains, to getting a fresh start with those people. Trots, Quick Ben, and the stuff with Trots coming up, with the the stuff with the white face. Are they anyway? And he chose to fight like a bridge burner, which is pretty cool, even though he's a Barghast. The same way that I was feeling about Quick Ben the first time through the series, I'm now feeling about Callum or whatever. Really liking, like, it's been an inversion, even though I still love Quick Ben, but I extra love Callum the second time. Such a treat that I'm liking these other people more. Then we have these other ones. Obviously, we have Kaladin Brood and Animander Rake. We have Calor, who is a major favorite for me. I wish Steven Erikson would give a whole series or even just a standalone of his rise. I just want to read more of him. We have that old bag, the Maiba, and Silver Fox. Corlat, who is a top 5 character to me, even though like she's not the most major in the plot, but she's, there's a reason why she is highlighted in the end of the series a little bit. And I just she's so great. And I don't know, who else should we look at? Oh, we have the Barghest. We have Heaton, who knowing her journey, just holy smokes, it just hits so much different when you see them at this point. Kruppa, kind of coming, he's even more hilarious. He's even more flippin' hilarious the second time. Hanging on to that stinking table, and at the end of that crazy scene saying, hey, is anyone hungry? And of course, maybe my favorite group, both times in the series, my first read and my second read, is Lady Envy's posse, with the Segula, the dog in the eye, the Tool, and Talk. That is by far my favorite group so far in this book, and liking Lady Envy a lot more the second time. She is so dang funny in how she's handling these Segula. What else? Obviously, we have Kalava was mentioned in the prologue. Prantrol, a major person who we get in the prologue. And we haven't really gotten any of the Seer or Teniscowry stuff yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Draconis and the Sister Cold Knights. Yeah. Baljag and Gareth. I love Gareth. Another favorite scene in the whole series that I'm looking forward to is them entering that stinking temple. And just, it's like a Tarantino movie in there. It just goes crazy. So I've already rambled too long, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.